Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd, as well as my friends at yarnspirations.com. Today is the napkin rings, and you can use these in a picnic setting. We actually have a pop can holder like so, a beverage can holder, and this kind of matches that same concept. So what you'll need is a 5mm size H crochet hook. If you want to match the American colors, you can. In my case, I didn't have those on stock, but I had blueberry, country red, and white, and that's what I'll be using today. So without further ado, let's grab our 5mm size H crochet hook, and let's grab the color. It can be A and C in order to make it so it is kind of an idea in order to make it work. So let's begin. So the rings itself is going to be a solid color. So A and C are red or blue, and then they save the star to be white. Let's create a slip knot to begin. And we are going to start off, and you're going to chain 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. If that feels big for you, just so you know that there's about a 20% reduction in the size of a chain once you get moving on the first one. Without making the chain twist in anywhere, we just follow it back and just slip stitch it to the first chain to create the foundation ring that you'll need. And let's move on to round number 1. Okay, round number 1, chain up 1, and you are going to apply 1 single crochet in each of the chain all the way around. So making sure that nothing's twisted in a weird way. Put the straggler with the chain, and so when you go into each one of the stitches or each one of the chains, it's just 1 single crochet all the way around. So you'll have a total count of 24 single crochet. So please follow your chain and single crochet around. So I'm coming up all the way around. I have 24 single crochets, so I'm just going to join it. So make sure when you join that it says stay flat like a fan belt of a car, and then just join it like so. If you went over top of the straggler like I did, then what you can do is you can just cut that down. If you didn't, just use a tapestry needle to hide in that loose end, or just pull it apart and redo it. Let's move on to round number 2 and beyond. Round number 2 is the repeat for the remaining of the ring. Just chain up 1 and apply 1 single crochet in each of the stitches all the way around, and I'll see you at the end of round number 2 in a moment. So I'm coming up around, and do not confuse the joining as an extra stitch. Okay, so this is part of the beginning right here. A little secret that I did with the pop can holder is that in the last stitch I went in, pulled through, and this is the connection join. So going into that and pull through, and then pull through all of that. And that still keeps it just 1 stitch at the end, but it hides in that gap space that you would have. Then you slip stitch, and therefore it looks more closed. So what you need to do is repeat the last round number 2 until it measures a total height of 1 3/4, and then at the end of that we're going to fasten off and continue along to make the star. Coming up around to the end, and that's it. So we're just going to do my little trick at the end, see how it fills it in nicely. So I'm just going to finish this off, and you're going to need a tapestry needle. If you use a crochet hook to weave in the ends, it definitely will fall out on you. So make sure you do that. Okay, and if you didn't secure the first one, so you can just turn it inside out for just temporarily there for a few moments. And you want to put this onto a tapestry needle and weave it back and forth a total of 3 times. I have a cut on my hands. I was raking pine cones the other day, and the rake was just irritating my skin. So not that it matters. So I want to just pull it through once. And then I want to go through again. So don't make your needle go so deep that you can see it on the good side. So keep it on this side only. And don't be afraid to separate plies and in between as well. So pull back and forth 3 times, you're good to go. And we're now ready for the star. So just turn it back the other way. And there is your center piece. And now the star is going to be attached to that after we get it done. For the star, it states to chain 2 and then put 10 single crochets second chain from the hook. I know from experience that this is not going to work out for me because I'm going to be too tight. So what I want to do is create a magic ring or a magic circle or adjustable ring. Same terminology. Put the yarn down in front of the table. Leave this to be a little bit longer so that you can use this strand here to affix it to your napkin ring. So just slide your 2 fingers in front like this. Then the yarn coming from the yarn ball, bring it around your 2 fingers, and when you come back around, turn your hand over and cross and use your 3rd finger to hold it. So 2 fingers, this is in front. Take the strand going to the yarn ball, come around underneath your hand and back over and cross. You're going to use your hook. You're going to go underneath this one. And you were going to grab this one and pull through. And just turn your hand over as you do it. Okay, so just turn your hand. And just using these 2 fingers, just hold it on the hook and just grab the circle here and this strand. This is the end. And that's what you want to play with. And put the other strand into your hand like you would with crochet and pull it through as a chain 1 to help lock that. And what you want to do is you want to crochet 10 times into the center. So we're just going to start by putting 10 single crochets into the center ring. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Make sure that you do have 10 because it matters on your count. So just count the tops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Before you do anything further, see this strand here? This is the loose end. Pull on it, and this will close down the center. So you can take this out and just continue to pull, and it'll take the center and make it tighter. And we'll deal with this later because we're going to use that same strand to affix it to the ring. So leave it towards the back and put this into your hook again. Tighten it back down to the hook and just slip stitch to the 10th one away. So if you're not sure, again, count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Even as an experienced crocheter, I still count after all these years. I never assume because everything is relying on that number, and make sure it's pulled nice and tight. So you will have a little bit of a hole in the center, and that's normal. Let's begin round number 2. Round number 2, chain 1 and put 2 single crochets in each of the 10 stitches around, which will give you a total count of 20 single crochet. So what I will do for myself is that I just did the first one and I put 2. So I say this is 1 and then this is 2. So there's 2 in each. So then I say to my head 3 and 3 and 4 and 4, 5 and 5, 6, 6 and 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, and 10, and 10. So there's 2 in each of the 10 that you had. And the reason why I do that is that this piece right here always looks like it's a bit extra. And so what I like to do is just make sure I don't get that one by accident by counting it the way I did. And I'm just going to slip stitch to the top of the first single crochet that I started with. And then we're going to worry about this tail end later, as I promised. Let's move on to your next row. So we're now going to start with the points. Each point is done on its own before moving to the next. I think there's an error in the pattern on one of the rows. I'll show you where that is, and you can decide if I'm right or wrong. But I do think it's wrong. So we're going to start with our first one. So we're going to chain up 1 and we're going to single crochet the first 4 stitches in a row. You're then going to turn the star backwards to the wrong side, chain 1, and you're going to put the first 2 together and then the last 2 together. So into the first one, pull through, the next one, pull through. You got 3 loops, pull through all 3, that's 2 together, and then do it again. Pull through and pull through. See the 3 loops, pull through. Turn it back to the good side of the work, chain up 1, and you're going to put the only 2 that you have there together as 1. So 2 together there. So this point is almost done, and before you go down the side, chain 2, and then just slip stitch yourself down the side of your point. So you're just going in nicely. So you've slip stitched down, and then the next 4 are available to you. So starting in the next 4, you're just going to single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Turn your work backwards, chain 1, put the first 2 together, put the next 2 together. Turn your work back to the good side, chain 1, put these 2 together, and now you're ready to go down the other side. But before you do it, chain 2 first, and then just slip stitch yourself down the side of the star. And then start a new point. So starting in the next empties, do the next 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, turn, chain 1, put the first 2 together, put the next 2 together, turn, chain 1, put these 2 together, and now you're ready to go down. So chain 2 and slip stitch yourself down the side of your star. Okay, slip stitch as many as you need to in order to keep it balanced. And then when you're ready, do the next 4 and do your point, and then do the final 4, and then I'll be right back in a moment. Coming down the final point, I'm just going to chain 2 and slip stitch myself. So when I go to slip stitch it, in order to keep the balance look, because you can see at this point you would have like something right here that's missing. So after you get this one down, just slip stitch it over to the first point to drag it over to hide in the imbalance. Okay, and pull things nice and tight. And then once you have that done, you're just going to cut your yarn, and you are just going to pull that strand through the loop and tighten it. This is the good side of the work that you're looking at, so turn it to the wrong side. WS is the abbreviation for that. And just use your tapestry needle and just hide in that loose end. So just dragging it through. So don't impede, don't let that needle come to the good side of the work. So pull through, shape it if you have to. And then keep weaving back and forth a total of 3 times. And trim. Now what we need to do is we need to secure this with the starting tail that we had. So that's the advantage of the item that I did. And what I would consider doing, if for me and you weren't watching me, I would do this at home, is that we had a slipped stitch space on here. So do you see it's right here? kind of looks like it's there. So I would put the star so it's right over top of that. So just going right into that seam line and pull that star in. And then coming back out somewhere else on the same seam line and back through the star. And you can give it a good tug, and then now you can secure it by just going in and out of there. And because it's white, it's really easy to hide in this loose end. So I'm just circling around the center piece of my star until I'm all the way around. And then what I would do is put it inside out so you can see this and just secure it in here. So make it sure it ties itself into a knot. And then just really carefully just stay on the inside of your ring and just weave your yarn in back and forth total 3 times. Don't be afraid to split any plies, and this is directly behind the star, so if there's any mishaps, it's going to be hidden by the star that's going to be on the top. Safely cut this down, and you eventually have a little napkin ring with the star to enjoy. That's it for today. We hope you have a great day.